What's up, everybody? We are back. We are live. It is Miami versus Florida State postgame show. Our beloved Miami Hurricanes fall to Florida State 20-27. Kind of a bummer of a game. Grinded out defensive game. Emory Williams obviously had the arm injury. Did not look good. Looked like a fairly severe arm injury towards the end of the game there. In talking to Adrian, AB, everyone knows him on Twitter. This week, this is kind of what I thought would happen in the sense of if I said if Emory Williams starts, it's probably going to be a grinded out defensive game. 20 points is a little more than I thought we'd score, but I thought we'd keep it close. We controlled the clock. We controlled possession. We didn't turn the ball over. It's kind of how it played out. Obviously, I don't think the kind of the hot topic is going to be Tyler Van Dyke coming in, throwing an interception, ending the game. To be fair to him, I'm not sure we would have gotten points on that drive regardless. What do you guys think? Sorry, I didn't even introduce you guys. We got Petrie here as always. We got Mike. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that I don't think we would have gotten points anyway. I think that we could have at least gotten it down to field goal range. Maybe we can address some of the nuance a little bit later on in the show, but getting it to within field goal range could have been very big, even though we might not have really gotten a touchdown. I'm not going to say thrilled. No moral victories, especially when it comes to your biggest rivals. But in a game where Florida State was at kickoff, given 15.5 points. They were favored 15.5 for the Canes to lose by 7. That certainly went better than a lot of people who invested money into it would have expected.
Yeah, I mean, I think we played better than what we expected, coming into this game, man. So I think Emory, he didn't have the best day passing, but he didn't turn over the ball, right? I think that's why we started him today, because of the turnovers that TVD was having. And then, man, I mean, he battled for a couple first downs in that game, man, that I thought were kind of – I don't think we've seen that out of a QB in some years, man. So, shout out to him for trying to extend the plays the way he did. He's a pretty aware – freshman, so I'll give him that. That reach for that first down, I mean, it saved the game for TVD to come in and try, something. So it extended the game when we probably should have been out of it. It's just it sucks that we had to see him go down like that, man.
I'm speaking of Emory, I hate that we had to have the handcuffs on him again. It seemed like offensively he was limited again, but I said this after he ended up beating Clemson in that when we beat Clemson, is that he should have probably started the Virginia and NC State games just in case we needed him to come in and help out in the Florida State game. And then what happened today? He ends up getting the start for whatever reason behind the scenes. Maybe that information will come out at a later time, right? But don't you think he could have used that experience? Now he comes into today's game basically not playing real football for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. It's tough. I think it's kind of gotten lost in the rhetoric on Canes Twitter that Emory is just better than TVD, which I think is a nuanced topic. Watching the game tonight made it very clear to me that Emory cannot make the throws that we would need him to make right now to be a successful team. Mike, I know you were bringing that up in our group chat, and I think it's accurate. Like, I don't have a lot of confidence with Emory dropping back to pass. What we can be confident, though, is that he's going to make better decisions with the ball than Tyler Van Dyke. And so, I think it's kind of getting lost is that, Emory's better. It's like, I don't think he's better. I think maybe he gives us a better chance to win, but I don't think he's a better quarterback. So
that goes back to Petrie's point.
Yeah.
And I think our fan base is lost. Some of them are lost with what I'm about to say. he makes better decisions because he doesn't have to make many of them.
Yeah.
Okay. If the playbook like that 85-yard pass, man. I told you in the chat, I said Jesus Christ came on the field and threw that. It was on the money, but the way it weaved into his hands, man, I mean, that was luck. You know,
it was
sometimes you need
blunder
that
on defense for sure.
Right, that too. But I mean, he didn't throw the ball many times. His playbook is guarded. Matter of fact, the playbook was wide open that first possession when we got it on the 3 or 4 yard line, and he threw it like 3 out of 4 times. And I was like, oh, they've opened up the playbook. You know what I mean? And then they circumvented it throughout the game. We ran heavy up the middle. But you know, we need to understand, you know, when TVD's in the game, he's throwing it 35 to 40 times. You know, if Emory was throwing it that many times tonight, he would have thrown a pick.
Yeah, I looked it up right after the game. I think as a team, we had a total of 31 passes. And of course, you know, 3 or so of those, 4 of them were Tyler Van Dyke. So if you want to say it, you know, Emory Williams in basically a 4-quarter game only threw the ball about 25 times.
Right. Yeah. Right. And I mean, a lot of those passes too, Peter, were like safe. Yeah. So, you know, I saw some things from him where I was just like, man, like his pocket presence, of course, is very rookie-like, very freshman-like. He hasn't been in a pocket long enough to hear, and his peripherals are not, you know, they're not experienced. But throughout the game, man, he was showing a lot of confidence. And that's what I like out of somebody that's in that game, man. Like the first time in that venue, in that rivalry, I mean, you're reaching for that first down like that. There's not a damn quarterback that I've seen in the past 5 to 10 years that's reaching for a first down like that in that moment at Miami, bro. So kudos to him. I'm giving him props for that. But he does struggle throwing the ball compared to what we've been seeing with TVD. And I think we've been spoiled with TVD. You know, but at the same time, you know, he's been effing up with the INTs, so I get the change.
Yeah. It's I don't really know what to do with the QB situation at this point. It's kind of a weird spot when you think about it. You have a quarterback who is very capable, but can't be trusted to make decisions to put you in a winning position. Obviously, I would doubt that we see Emory again for the rest of the year based on his injury. An air cast on a joint is never a good sign. So, you know, I have to imagine that something happened with his elbow, whether break, dislocation, something.
Yeah.
So it's probably just going to be between Tyler Van Dyke and Jakari Brown. I'm very intrigued. I would imagine Van Dyke plays the rest of the year. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I agree fully. If there were a route to Jakari seeing the field, I feel like it already would have happened. Why is he not seeing the field? Even in like, I don't like using the phrase emergency, but in these like weird late situation kind of moments, why aren't we getting a little bit creative? Hey, let's throw it out there and see what happens. So he's not even seeing the field, even in a gadget play kind of capacity. So I feel that if that was going to be something that was going to happen, it already would have happened.
Yeah.
And I completely agree. I think that why not try to play Brown in an instance where we got to reach for a first down like that, but we're not confident running the middle because we don't run to the outside ever.
Yeah.
When we're running up the middle or when we don't want to pass the ball short, you know, all I keep hearing is how good of an athlete he is, right?
Yeah.
You know, why not try to wildcat him in the formation somehow, man? You know, and we don't see any of that. So
and not just how good of an athlete he is, but like how big and physically strong he is. You know, we're giving Emory props for having the stones to put the arm out and extend the football and try to get that first down. However, Jakari might be the kind of player who doesn't have to extend the ball because he's lowering the shoulder and putting you on your back, and he's going to get a couple of yards that way. So, you know, these are different players for different reasons. I'm not trying to elevate one over the other for that reason, but you know, if we're saying, hey, we need the first down, like you said, Mike, we're doing design quarterback runs. We're doing design quarterback runs. Why don't we have Jakari in?
I mean, we know immediately when the ball's hiked, whenever we're doing a QB scramble to the outside, you can see it automatically. Whether they're going to pass it, whether, you know, whatever the option is going to be, when the option is there, I'm pretty sure Brown can do a little better than TVD and Emory in those situations. We don't ever see him plugged in. We never have. And so he had to start that game at Clemson. I mean, whatever. But, that was
I don't want to cast any doubts on the young man, but like you almost have to wonder, is there some kind of a fundamental issue with grasping the playbook or accuracy, something along those lines? Because as an athlete, physically, he's right there with anybody. So why is he not getting these opportunities? Is there some kind of a fundamental issue with either the playbook or, like I said, accuracy issues? Why don't they trust him in these scenarios?
It could also be something related to like him wanting to preserve a red shirt to transfer. It could always be that, I mean, we got 2 games left to play, so I guess that wouldn't affect redshirt status anymore. But just a thought I had is being QB3, I think a transfer is probably likely for him.
So he's just working out and studying this whole entire year.
I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. It's just a thought. So,
I'm not saying that you're wrong or even it's that outlandish. I'm sitting there. I'm thinking football players want to play football. For the most part. I know he might be thinking long game, maybe a transfer, but he's just working out and studying this whole entire season. That's blowing my mind.
Yeah, I think there's definitely space for at least a package. I mean, exactly what you guys are talking about. Some RPO stuff, some, read option stuff. It makes no sense why he couldn't throw, just a 5-yard slant when he has to. I mean, that's the beauty about read options and RPOs is they're designed runs a lot of times. So, it just, I'm with you. It doesn't make sense, especially when you make the move to Emory Williams. The whole running back or quarterback by committee thing can really take some pressure when you're doing special packages to kind of throw the defense off of your scent.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense. But so let's talk about the defense. I thought the defense played fantastic today. I was predicting a big show out for Keon Coleman. We've been prone to giving up big games to talented wide receivers, and for the most part, we shut him down. I mean, he did kind of put the game away on us with that big punt return and then catching the fade in the end zone. So, I think that's fine to acknowledge that. He did put us away. But really, we held him in check for 3 quarters. If not 3.5 quarters. And I think that's an accomplishment. Run defense was very stiff, gave up a few long plays to Trey Benson. Other than that, I thought just overall the defense had a fantastic game. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the defense played very well. As a unit, they played very well. Unfortunately, James Williams continues to try to make too big of a play. I know he's really trying to he's trying to do these like Sean Taylor plays where he's blowing somebody up and making Sports Center, whatever the case might be. But that a lot of times ends up with the guy bouncing off your shoulder pad and then taking it an extra however many yards or even for a touchdown. So, it's very challenging when these kinds of things happen. We did kind of complain about how Jordan Travis was complaining. Oh, hey, that was a targeting or whatever the case may be. The refs ended up calling it in Miami's favor. But if you watch that replay, it certainly was a targeting call. Should have been called.
Yeah, and it would have probably decided the game a little bit earlier than the game was decided. That would have been a very crippling targeting penalty, and I think we can all agree that was textbook targeting. The refs owed us one, so I'll take it, and I won't feel bad about it. But that was textbook targeting, and like you said, Petrie, it's James Williams. It's a pattern at this point, so it is frustrating.
I just wonder if he developed a lot of these habits as a younger kid playing. Well, I don't know if he played Pop Warner, but elementary, middle school football, and then when he got into high school, when you are literally the physically largest, most dominant person on the field in any given moment, then you get to, the D1 college level where guess what? everybody was the biggest kid in their county. Every kid was one of the fastest, biggest kids in their state. So, it's a little bit frustrating to see him keep on trying to deliver these shoulder tackles without wrapping up. But I thought that the defense as a whole played a solid game. You really want to get down to it and say that it was 27-20. No call on that safety. That's 2 points. Borigalis with the missed field goal on the unfortunate hold. That's 5 points right there in a 7-point game, meaning a field goal at the end would have won it. So the defense played a great game. If the offense had played slightly better, I mean, again, we only lost by a touchdown with a couple of things that didn't go our way. If the offense had played just slightly better, who knows what we're talking about right now.
Yeah. I think, tell me if you guys think I'm wrong, but even with Emory Williams showing a lot of heart and a lot of mental fortitude, I'll say, I think like the number one priority this offseason should be transfer quarterback.
I think that a lot of people are going to agree with you on that just because there is so much talent out there, and with the accessibility of the transfer portal as compared to previous years, there's going to be a lot of people that are saying, hey, let's go get the next, whoever
Michael
the case
Penix,
might be. Yeah, Michael Penix, for example, whoever the next great one is, the transfer portal's there. You look at our offensive line, you look at our skill position players, what quarterback would not want to play there, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to see Emory develop into the next thing, but you can't deny a kid who's in his third or fourth real season of football, maybe even fifth season of football, really trying to have an NFL kind of year, right? You can't deny him that opportunity if he's interested in Miami.
Yeah. What's that kid at Tulane? I think he went to high school in Miami, but
I can't remember his name,
like
but
Pratt or something like that.
Yeah, he's
people were making edits last weekend. They were making edits talking about, let's get the kid from Tulane. I can't remember his name, but yes.
I think it's Pratt or Platt or something like that. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I'm just thinking with the whole TVD situation, honestly, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea for him and his camp to get a change of scenery either. Because the talent is there, the arm talent is there. I mean, to me, and this is just purely anecdotal and subjective, but he gets in the game and starts throwing back shoulder passes to the sideline, to help control the clock. And it's like, we've been needing that kind of stuff all game. And I don't think Emory is far enough along in his development to know to do stuff like that. Those tricks of throwing your wide receiver open. It's a bizarre situation.
I think that the real issue comes down to this, and this, bringing this up doesn't fix the issue, but the fact that we're even sitting here having a conversation about Tyler Van Dyke, who was supposed to be in Heisman conversations, who was supposed to be in NFL draft pick consideration conversations, and we're sitting there going, is a kid who played high school football a year ago better? The fact that we're even having the conversation is insanity.
Yeah. Or better for the team even, Yeah.
Better for the team. I don't think there is a conversation. Better for the team is Emory. Better player of the position of quarterback. Now that's where the conversation comes into play, and that's where it gets embarrassing. But better for the team, I think it's not even close. Emory was clearly better for us today.
I think you're right. I think you're right. And Mike, I'm interested to hear your opinion on that. Do you agree with that, Mike, or do you see it differently?
So I'm a big TVD guy, man, just for the fact that he's been through the ropes at Miami. You know what I mean? He's seen a lot of good and a lot of bad. I don't think
bad hasn't beaten Florida State.
Yeah. I mean, I get that, but it's not a one-man show. We get kind of lost in that shit because he's throwing picks. And we've lost games that we feel like we should have been closer in or should have won. At the same time, a lot of us didn't even think we would be 4-0 at the start of the season, ranked, and then that kind of thing. So, he's played good, he's played bad. I get that. I think that as a fan base, we've totally shitted on our starting quarterback. And a lot of people were they would hate me for this. Even people that are in my circle. I think that we've shitted on our starting quarterback and not looked at the entire picture of being, hey, some of these picks are real bad. Some of these picks are picks where he's in a situation where he's forced to throw it. Nobody's really open. That last pick that he threw in the FSU game just now, there was nobody available. Nobody. But it was fourth down. We ran it twice on that series. On second, I think on the first down and the third down or something like that. Anyways, a lot of our play calling has been super conservative, man, and it hasn't put us in a position to be much of an air attack, which was the reason why TVD did so good in that stretch. Was he was just airing the thing out like Stephen Morris back in the day.
Yeah.
So, and then we get down in these games or we run the ball so mediocrely that it puts him in third and long situations and he's forced to scramble or sometimes he just makes bad plays. But I'm telling you, all three back on our roster are going to make bad plays. So if we're just saying, hey, we want to put something in fresh in here to kind of liven up the atmosphere, that's fine. I think that's kind of where Petrie was going with that as far as better for the team. It kind of gives us a spark on, hey, what's going to happen next? We don't know because we haven't seen this kid play or start a game like this. Well, as soon as TVD came in, I was thinking, damn, throw it deep. Throw it deep, see what happens.
That's kind of my thought on that fourth down.
I didn't feel like we were gonna technically just throw an automatic pick. I thought we had a small chance to get within at least field goal range to make it interesting. And he threw those two back shoulder passes, and I was like, damn, this is fresh. We had been struggling the entire game passing anything. Yeah. And then it's like bloop bloop. And then, we run the ball. We just become stagnant. We took all that time off the damn clock. It was just, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So
the thing with the changing up of the energy, and I'm going to just slightly tweak it because, yes, you are right. It's a change of the energy kind of thing. But I think that when the players when they see Emory come in and they know that he's a true freshman, right? They're sitting there and going, we as a unit need to rally around our guy and overcome the fact that we have a starting quarterback who's a freshman, right? Whereas when Tyler Van Dyke is playing, they're thinking, hey, Tyler Van draft pick is coming in here. All right, hey, we're going to be okay. They let their guard down. Maybe a little bit I don't want to say taking it for granted. That's not the right expression. But they're almost kind of expecting Tyler Van Dyke to elevate the play around them. Whereas when Emory's in, they elevate their own level of play because they feel that there's something to overcome. Hey, we got a freshman quarterback here.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I think you're both making really good points. Maybe to push back a little bit on the TVD stuff. For me, so, we both mentioned the two back shoulder passes to the sideline was a breath of fresh air in this game. After I thought to do it on the broadcast, I wasn't able to. I wanted to count how many straight incompletions Emory had in the second half because it wouldn't surprise me if it was close to 10. There was a drought there for a minute where he was just missing people, and that's fine. He's a true freshman, so it was a breath of fresh air. But then the third one, he tries to go back to the back shoulder pass and forces it. And that's when I was kind of like, oh, yeah, that's what we're getting. And then the next throw was a pick. And so while I agree with you, Mike, there's no doubt that we need to be able to open up the offense and throw the ball down the field. And Emory has not been at a spot where he's capable of doing that. And that's fine.
I mean, I fully agree with you. The three back passes to the back, bro, I feel like those were the play calls.
Yeah. And they could have been. That third one, I just felt it was a little forced, and it was just like, oh, yeah, he went to the same player again. To me, it just kind of invokes shades of forcing the ball to Xavier Restrepo every play. And there is a lot to go into it, and your point there is super valid in the sense of there's receivers that have to do their thing. There's an offensive play caller that has to do his thing. There's an offensive line that has to do their thing. So it's not the burden of this is not solely on Tyler Van Dyke. I I think as a fan base, I think you're right in that we probably gave up on TBD a little too fast. I think it's underrated, the noise that social media gives off. I think that's underrated in how it can affect the team.
Mm-hmm.
One thing though is, and I probably got caught up in this myself, it's been a long time since we've had a good run game and a good defense. And I think we all know that is what championship teams are built on, is solid run game, good defense, winning in the trenches, play after play. And so to have that, but not have a quarterback that can control possession of the ball is just, it's like, I don't know, man.
But here's the issue. You can have a great running game and a great defense, but if your defense is on the field like very, very frequently, because of the fact that your offense is so predictable, right? We can have a great running game, but if they know that it's going to be run, pass, run, pass every single time, eventually they're just going to key in on those things and figure out a way to stop it. Then Tyler Van Dyke is unjustly hoisted into this position at the end where we're down late in the fourth quarter. And what are we doing? We're predictable because now they know we have to throw it. So you're predictable for the first 3.5 quarters doing the run, pass pattern. And then when it's already, I'm not going to say too late because it was only a 1-score game, but it's effectively, the point in the game where they know you have to throw the football. Now Tyler Van Dyke comes into the game cold. They know we have to throw the ball. What the hell do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I didn't, and we can go back to, I guess, to a couple post games ago.
I'll give Van Dyke gets the pass on that interception. He can have the pass on that interception because everybody in the stadium and everybody outside of the stadium, everybody on the planet knew what Miami was doing.
I just didn't think that the QB change gave us the best shot to win. And I mean, I'm not going to put that on Twitter and argue with people that just want to argue.
Yeah.
But we're here on our platform putting out opinions, right? So I'll say this. I mean, logically speaking, TBD gave us the best shot with an arm.
Yeah.
That's his position. He's not going to run the ball. Emory did run the ball a couple times, right? When he had to. TBD will do it too, but he'll slide. He won't do the reach like Emory did.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. But as far as the ability to throw and manage the game with an arm, like, there is no comparison, man. And we were going into that rivalry game. That's a tough spot for the freshmen, don't get me wrong. But when you've thrown 10 incomplete passes and a lot of those are bouncing off the ground, like, it might be time to think about putting in your official starter, then waiting on him to break his arm. But I get the want to change and to see what happens or whatnot, but come on, man. Like, I've seen the fans, bro. I'm so glad that the TBD era is over. What era are you expecting to start now? I just don't get it, man. But
yeah,
it's time for the Jakari Brown era. We need to do not make the same mistake that we made with N'Kosi Perry. N'Kosi Perry came in and had big. I'm telling you, give Jakari Brown an opportunity. Unless it's a big asterisk on this one here, unless there is just some kind of fundamental critical failure with his game. I don't know what it is. I've seen him play football. He's a hell of an athlete. He can throw the ball. I can tell you that. I've seen it happen. So there's got to be some kind of a critical flaw with something for why he's not getting these opportunities. Emory, clearly not ready. Van Dyke, I don't want to use the expression like deer in headlights, but he doesn't really seem fully prepared. Ready and prepared are different words, right?
Yeah.
He's not seemingly fully prepared right now. Why is Jakari Brown not getting an opportunity, at least in a gadget play, RPO style kind of situation?
Yeah. I fully support that. If you're going to play this game the way that they were trying to play it with starting a freshman at FSU, then you put Jakari in for a couple series, dog. That's just plain and simple. If you want to see if you really want to play this game that everybody's talking on Twitter, bro, you play all 3 QBs, and then you pick the best one that is riding the momentum. And we didn't have no momentum at quarterback, bro. The defense helped us in that game, keeping Florida State to 13 points at half. We got lucky on an 85-yarder. That damn basket catch that we had that lob was beautiful, bro. But it was a lob. The wide receiver had to do most of the work there. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But other than that, field of possession was important for those drives. We didn't drive the ball down very well, except for that one. And then other than that, bro, it was just defense on the field, defense on the field.
And this is maybe a great opportunity to transition. Jordan, tell me, how you feel. Obviously, you brought up that float, Mike. Somebody on Twitter was saying like, oh, Emory with that nice floater. I was like, the nice floater. If Tyler Van Dyke can't make that floater, we're in real trouble here. But to what you just said, the onus is on the receiver to really make the play in that situation. Yeah. And shout out to Jacoby George for a tremendous day. He went over 150 yards, 153 yards with both of those touchdowns. The second one, more impressive than the first because of the concentration to make the catch, to pull away, so as to not have the ball knocked out, keeping your feet, and then obviously finishing with a touchdown run. So this might be a good opportunity for us to transition away from quarterback, as we've been talking about it for the first 20 something minutes of the show.
Well, it's the only thing that the entire fan base talked about the entire week and the entire game, bro. Like, that was the only reason.
Quarterback.
And it's just so annoying, man. It's just like, come on, man. TVD could have came in, thrown a touchdown. Emory could have came in, thrown a touchdown. We still would have been in the same boat. Yeah. It's just like, we don't have an all-American quarterback, bro. We got to figure it out.
Yeah.
So
I do got to shout out, man. The defense did a very good. I don't want to say the bend don't break expression is overhyped. It's overused, and so I don't love it. But man, to say that we were dogs by 15.5, only lost by 7, right? That's tremendous. Yeah. And the over/under at kickoff was 50.5. Between both teams, there were 47 points. And so you really have to chalk up the defense for playing a good game.
Yeah.
On a day where the offense and special teams didn't really do them any favors.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's low scoring, usually it's a closer game, right? Or if it's over, right? It's usually a blowout in this series. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So Petrie, you mentioned Jacoby George, 5 receptions, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. I want to also shout out Don Chaney's box score, 12 carries.
Frank Gore. That was like Frank Gore mirror today, bro. He was on the money, dog.
Yep. So, I mean, he had the touchdown drive. He had the 2 big runs to set it up. I think it was a 29-yarder and a 26-yarder. Probably don't get a touchdown without that,
Don Chaney hates Florida State, man. 7 yards per carry today. Terrific.
Yeah, amazing. Andy Borregala's 2 out of 3 field goals. The laces. I mean, wasn't it a 50-yarder that he missed and he kicked the laces because of a bad hold? So I don't know. I think credit to him to being consistent, kept us in the game.
And can I just say, Borregalis, his mom, I don't know if her name is Vivian, but she's Vivi on Twitter. She's hilarious because Borregalis iced the second one, and she said, laces out. The kick is good. And I'm like, it's so delightfully petty because she knows both of her boys are kickers amongst kickers. They are just great. I mean, possibly 2 Groza Award winners raised under the same roof.
Yeah.
You've done something right.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the safety for a minute. I have one point that I want to make. And obviously I'm
gonna have to go get another beer if we're gonna be talking about the safety now.
Might be too much into hypotheticals. But my point is I actually think the no call might have helped us in this game. Because if Florida State, so we went into halftime 10-10. If we would have gotten the safety, obviously it would have been 9-10 with Florida State punting to us. I'm not sure we get the ball back down the field if it's 9-10.
We did get a damn safety.
Yeah, we did. It was a no call. It was a no call.
Not on the damn scoreboard.
Yeah,
because the ACC doesn't have safeties in their rule book. It's the funniest thing, the only conference that doesn't call safeties.
Yeah, well,
and Jordan, I get what you're doing, but you're also kind of like galaxy braining it right now.
Yeah,
you always take the points on the board when you also get the possession back. There's just there. I get it, but like, man, that's like a 4D chess kind of conversation. What you're on right now.
Yeah. It's dude, the offense, that was rough. That was rough watching that offense. Florida State's defense, they kind of controlled our run game better than most have this year. So we really weren't doing much. And I think the conversation that you brought up earlier, Petrie, about supporting the defense, not keeping them on the field too much. The QBs kind of have our coaching staff in a pick your poison situation. It's like, do you want the defense to be on the field all game because you're doing 3 and outs, or do you want the defense to be on the field all game because you're turning the ball over? And I think that was the judgment call that the coaching staff had to make today. And I think they rolled the dice on, like, let's try to run the ball and control possession and see what happens. And it didn't work.
And I don't want people to misconstrue like how the game was actually played out, because if you just look at the box score and you check TOP, it's almost even. It was like 30 and change to 29 and change. So on the box score, you're thinking that's a very even game. But if you look at Florida State, long gashing plays, touchdowns, you know what I'm saying? They were scoring big plays. Whereas Miami, they had equal TOP almost with Florida State. But it's these little dink and dunk and 2-yard run, 3-yard run, screen pass goes for 4,
Yep.
So, you're getting your TOP up, but that doesn't mean that you're dominating the football. These things are different.
Yeah. Well, and, their punter played a great game. He averaged like 51 yards a punt. That's pretty absurd. So credit to him. They were flipping the field, but our ability to, burn a few minutes, move the ball 15 yards, and then flip the field back, probably why it resulted in a low-scoring game that kept us in it. If we're turning the ball over, Florida State probably scores 40-something points.
I think it was a little rainy today. After that first Restrepo, if you want to call it a blunder, go ahead, but where he let it bounce, normal – sunny day, dry field, that ball's bouncing and going crazy. But it kind of like hit the ground and softly kind of tumbled a little bit. And Florida State was able to down it very successfully. I almost kind of wonder if it was like rainy, maybe a little drizzle or mist out there.
Yeah.
Did you guys happen to see the weather? I'm talking shit right now. I could be coping.
I didn't see the weather, so
it was overcast, bro. I'm gonna give you that. I don't know if it was raining, but it probably sprinkled a little bit.
Overcast, we'll take it.
I'm just kidding. They ran the sprinklers yesterday, Petrie.
I'm telling you what, they ran the sprinklers. It rained overnight. What kind of a chicken shit outfit are we doing here? Play everything at Hard Rock Stadium. It's a professional football venue.
Exactly. All right, so let's wrap it up for the night, boys. I appreciate you jumping on. Thank you to everyone that watched. Heartbreaker tonight. Hopefully, Emory, the prognosis is better than it could be. It looked pretty bad. Hopefully, it's not as bad as we all think. And then until then, I actually don't think we're doing a show next week. Mike, you and I are going to be in South Florida. We're going to be at the Louisville game. So, Petrie, we'll reach out to you about potentially getting together. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. I'm excited.
So the next time we'll see you guys is probably Boston College after that game, last game of the year. So until then, thank you, everyone. Make sure you check out aboutthefans.com. And until next time, go Canes.
Go Canes, man. See y'all boys later.
See ya.
Y'all be good.
Later.